Hello everyone and welcome to Melyn Talks. Today I'm going to be talking about patch 7.9, which is the mid-season update. There's some changes to tanks, there's some changes to tank items, armor items, stuff like that. I'm not going to go through all of the changes. There are other channels for that. There are other people who would do that better than me. What I'm going to do in this patch, and hopefully in future patches as well, is talk about what are the interesting changes for Zyra and how are these changes going to affect her? Are you going to make different decisions? Are you going to have to watch out for new stuff? Basically, it's going to be this patch and how it affects Zyra, all right? So we're going to start by talking about some of the tank item changes, beginning with Adaptive Helm. When I first read about Adaptive Helm, I got very, very nervous because they introduced it as a way for champions to survive damage over time mages, which is exactly what Zyra is. However, if you actually read the item description, what does it say? It basically says, all right, it's health, MR, and let me actually scroll down so you can see it. And has a unique passive that says taking magic damage from a spell or effect reduces all subsequent magic damage from that spell or effect by 15% for 4 seconds. So even though it's geared towards damage over time mages to defend against them, it's only when the same spell or effect is triggered. So Q, not going to be reduced. E, not going to be reduced. R, not going to be reduced. It is going to reduce our plant damage, however. So plant damage is, a fair bit of our damage, but not an absurd amount. And it's only going to be lowered by 15% when a tank has this item. All right, so it looked scary initially, but it's not going to really be a big deal. Okay, people aren't going to get this item for a while. Your plant damage is, it's a fair amount of your kit, but 15% of the plant damage, it's going to be very, very minimal for Zyra. I don't expect this item to have very much effect on us. All right, and then we got some other items that aren't really going to affect Zyra and how they're changed. But Banshee's Veil is going to be the next thing that I think is interesting. I'm a big proponent of building defensively in the mid lane. If you're not surviving, you're not doing anything. So you have to survive, and then you can deal damage. So I've been building Banshee's Veil actually recently, sometimes in my Zyra mid games anyway, but now it's even better because the passive for Banshee's Veil is very, very good for Zyra, especially against some of the more stronger pick type champions. So LeBlanc, where her first skill is going to affect her future skills, getting picked by like a Blitzcrank or an Ari charm or something is always a very big weakness of Zyra. But now with Banshee's Veil, which is actually a legitimate AP item now, you don't have to troll build it. You can actually build a legitimate item. I think this is going to be great for Zyra mid. I don't really see myself buying it on Zyra support, except for maybe like last or second to last. Just because I don't think you can afford to build defensively as Zyra support as early, but Zyra mid, I think you will be seeing this item built on a lot of mages in the mid lane, and it's going to be annoying to play against when you're Zyra, but I think it's going to be a strong item on Zyra as well. So let's definitely keep your eyes open on this one and try it out. I know I'm going to. Abyssal Scepter, on the other hand, was, they kind of swapped a little bit. Basically, they're swapping the stats, but keeping their swapping the stats, keeping the passives. Yeah, that's right. So Abyssal Scepter is now a very tanky item, and the passive was already garbage for Zyra, so not getting this anymore. Do not buy Abyssal Scepter. Do not buy a new Abyssal Scepter. When the new Abyssal Scepter comes out on the Rift, do not buy it. I think it would be a very, very poor decision. Here's something that I almost skimmed over. It was Guardian Angel, because I don't buy Guardian Angel as Zyra, almost never. Sometimes I would get it, but in general, I think health items are very good on Zyra, but armor and MR items aren't as useful on Zyra because she has such low health anyway that you need to stack up that health before you can get the resistances. However, I would still get it sometimes. However, is this change is great for us. Guardian Angel is an obnoxious item. I hate playing against it. And now it no longer gives MR. So that's going to help Zyra. The less MR our opponents have, the better for us. So that's pretty nice. I like that change. Again, some more items that are not really going to affect us that much. Oh, here's one more change that I think is good to point out. Armor penetration is getting nerfed fairly hard, and they're putting that strength into crit and lifesteal, which, you know, I'm fine with. This is great for us. Why? Because armor penetration, any penetration actually, but penetration is better against squishy targets, right? Not percent penetration, that's good against tanky targets, but flat penetration is good against squishier targets. And Zyra, she's not going to have a lot of armor. So if these armor penetration, especially the flat armor penetration items, get nerfed, that's great for us. That being said, it looks like they're not actually, dang, I should have planned better ahead. It looks like they're not actually nerfing the flat penetration. I'll have to think more about this, but so these changes actually don't affect us at all. This change will affect us very, very minimally. Okay. Just go ahead and disregard that part of the video. Oh man, I planned this video out, but not well enough. All right, let's look at support items. So this is where a lot of people are talking about. A lot of people have questions about it. Melyn, what do you think about the support items? Well, I finally looked at them, and I think the changes are interesting. I don't have a problem with them initially, but we're gonna have to see how it develops, right? So my initial thought is ancient coin might be a good idea. So I'm gonna introduce the changes and then kind of explain why I think that. All right, I'm not going to say I'm going to do it every time, but I'm definitely going to give both Ancient Coin and Frost Queen's Claim a chance. All right, so what is Ancient Coin going to do now? Think of it as Thresh Souls. Okay, so Thresh Souls, but with gold and mana instead of the souls. All right, so sometimes the minions will drop 20 gold for Ancient Coin. That goes up if you upgrade Ancient Coin, and 8% of missing mana that you can go and pick up. So that's great, especially since Zyra can be mana starved in lane, and so if you find yourself mana starved, especially with the changes to Spell Thief's Edge, maybe Ancient Coin is the thing to go to. Furthermore, when you fully upgrade it, which is when you get a certain amount of gold and you at least have the first upgrade of the item, you get a free skill point. So initially I got excited. I was like, oh, I wonder if you can get early level 6 off of this. No, you can't. All right. That's not going to be possible. So you're not going to get an earlier power spike. So what are you going to get from this skill point? By the time you get this skill, you're probably going to have close to max rank in E. So you're going to get an extra point in W or an extra point in Q, which are both pretty lame for Zyra support, which is what I'm talking about for these support items, right? You can get your rank 2 ultimate 1 level earlier, which is nice. I don't think this is that great. I think if you're going to go Ancient Coin, you're going to go Ancient Coin for the mana. I think that's kind of the why Zyra would go this item, is to get that mana regen, basically. Also worth mentioning is that the pickup range scales based off your auto attack range. Zyra has a very long auto attack range, so that's very good for her. I don't know how I would upgrade this. If I would upgrade this, who knows? But it's something to keep in mind. Relic Shield, we don't care about. It's not gonna change anything. So Spell Thief's Edge, what are they doing to it? All right. So again, this was something where I thought something bad was gonna happen, but it is actually fine. So they made it so you can't spam things to get these procs, all right? So like Morgana's Tormented Soil is the example they use here, and it's only gonna give you 1 proc every 1.25 seconds, all right? So I was like, oh no, that's gonna suck for Zyra. But it's only each spell. So your auto attack is still gonna give it once every 1.25 seconds. Your Q, still gonna get it at the quickest every 1.25 seconds. Your plant will get it every 1.25 seconds it's attacking. So if you do your QW auto harass, as you should be doing most of the time, you're gonna get all 3 procs. Nothing has changed in that regard. If you rely on your plants to do everything for you, sure, it's not gonna work out. But for laning, this change is actually good for us because it barely hurts us and it does hurt our competition. So this is a good change for Zyra. And then, all right, so what's the quest? Again, you get enough gold and you at least upgraded Spell Thieves once, then you can get this cool little gotta go fast thing where every time you proc it, you get a 50% movement speed increase for 1 second. That is fantastic. Let me give you guys some ideas of what this will do. So say you're trying to engage. Max range QW, get a speed boost. Maybe you'll get in range for an E. Even better, what if you're getting chased? A lot of times when you're getting chased, we'll drop an EW or maybe even a QW if we have Rylai's, and it doesn't really do that much, but maybe a little bit. But now, that's also gonna give us a 50% movement speed buff for 1 second. That's phenomenal. That is fantastic. If I don't need the mana for laning phase, I'm going to get this 100%. And again, these items still will give you mana. Frostfang, Spell Thieves, Frost Queen's Claim, and Eye of the Watcher still give you mana, just not as much. In fact, let's scroll down and see the actual numbers on that. So all of the upgraded items are brought down to 50%, which is, you know, a pretty significant nerf for mana spell spamming. That being said, a lot of times as Zyra, you're very dangerous situations, and most of your harass goes off of Thunderlord's Decree. So you really shouldn't be spamming that much anyway. I'm very interested to see on how this is going to work, but it looks like it's going to be very good. So again, if mana is an issue, Ancient Coin might be legitimate, but if it's not, I'm going to be going Spell Thief's Edge all the way, just because the quest reward or whatever looks pretty darn good. All right, one last thing I want to talk about, if I can find it. There we go. All champions that didn't get mana magic resist per level do. Again, you might initially think, oh man, this sucks for Zyra, but really, they don't gain that much. 0.5 per level, you gain 17 levels, that's what, 8.5 MR at level 18, so it's very, very small, all right? We're already stacking penetration anyway. A little bit extra is not really gonna hurt us. However, we don't usually build magic resist, so the extra on our end is gonna be good. So I like this change. Normally you think more magic resist is bad, but I'm actually okay with it, all right? So those are the big changes for this patch and how they affect Zyra. This is a new video format. I now don't have a slideshow. I now just have a capture. So feel free to tell me what you think. On Discord is the best, but also maybe during Twitch chat on my stream or on Twitter, stuff like that. In the YouTube comments, I also like as well. And if you have questions or you want to have a discussion about this, well, we got the place for that. Let me pull this up. This is my Discord server. We've got a beautiful channel called Zyra Discussion. There's already a bunch of discussion for this patch. The link to my Discord server is in the video description. Anyone can join. You don't have to download a program. You can access it through your web browser. And it's just a great way to become a part of the community, have good discussions about Zyra, as well as some other things, all right? So check it out. That's the best place to interact with me, honestly. Feel free, I can't talk today. Feel free to tag me, stuff like that. And thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and have a good night or wherever you are, and may your enemies feel the thorns embrace.